Good evening and welcome. Kamala Mukamzambata, and it is Monday Night Football as we now reflect on the weekend that was as far as the DStv Premiership is concerned. First and foremost, congratulations to Mamelodi Sundowns being crowned Q1 winners of the Q Innovation, but there's a lot for us to munch on after this weekend. Amakosi being able to string back-to-back victories and Leopards supping on some pirate bones as well. But before we go any further, tomorrow will be the announcement of the player and coach of the month. I know the last time we discussed it on the show, it was a bit of a hornet's nest. So we're going to ask you at home, use the hashtag MNF on Soweto TV. Who should be the coach and player of the month? Now, just to put a bit of a disclaimer and let you know, it's kind of judged from the 1st of December to the 10th of January. So in that period, think about who you think should take the honors. That's the question I'm starting the show with for my panel, which is constituted of Shweb Walters, I have Billy Limnyandu, and making his debut on the show, we have Greg Etafia joining us. Gents, thank you so much for coming through this evening. Let's start with that one. Let's start with you, Shweb.
And I think maybe we should also let the viewers out there know that there is a panel that we're not the panel.
Yes.
We just agree or disagree with
the panel. Yes, disclaimers.
That's the first thing. So
now that that's out the way, who do you think should be coach and player of the month and why?
Okay, Sundowns has played 5. They've got 11 points out of their 15. Swallows 11 points out of their 15. And Super Sport, they've out of their 4 games that they've played, they've got 10 points. So when I look at it, they all balanced. They're all doing quite well. So
right.
I was a bit on the fence. But then when I looked at it, and you have to consider that Sundowns has also played 2 Champions League games in that time as well, and to maintain that good form that they have out of those 5 league games.
Right.
So I'm going to give it to, well, I will agree if the panel tomorrow gives it to Sundowns, I will agree that Sundowns thoroughly does deserve this one.
The 3 coaches, the 3 wise men, and the player?
The player, I'm going to have to go with Gamildin. He's hit a good form. Between Gamildin and Grobler, both of them scored 5 goals in that period. And it's influential goals. And I think I would maybe lean a little bit more towards Gamildin because he looks like he's doing a lot more than what Grobler is. Grobler still has Kabuza and still has his creative team around him. And not that Swallows don't, but Gamildin is just, individual brilliance at times also with his goals.
Right.
So I will give it to Gamildin. I'll agree with the panel if it goes
that way. Your math sounded impeccable there. I'm sure you audited it before you came on, but it sounded like good math. Belile, what would you agree or disagree? What would your choices be?
Definitely Sundowns. I think it's been tight between them and Swallows.
Yeah.
And also to an extent, I think this is a period where SuperSport has done very well as well. So in my top 3, I would be having SuperSport at number 3, Kaitano Tembo. I would have Brackets at number 2.
Right.
And I would have Mishak, Shadrach, Abednego at number 1.
Okay.
So I think that's how it goes if you
from
look
the player side
in the period under review.
Yeah.
From the player side, this is a period where Memela had done well for Amazulu. You also had Grobler as well. You also had Gamaldin. You also had the young man from Swallows, Takula Mtetwa. He's done very well for Swallows.
Yeah.
Even the defender as well.
And Nobo as well. But I would go with Gamaldin for a player of the month for that period.
Okay, Greg, how about you? Any sympathy for your fellow goalkeeper and Dennis Onyango, maybe?
No, definitely. I have to go with goalkeeper in this part. But I mean, the players have done well. You have the strikers that have scored a lot of goals, but you still need to give credit to goalkeepers that keeping the goals away. I remember the game against Super Sports. Not only that game, Dennis Onyango make a big save. If not for him, it could have been something else. And I think Sundowns deserve the coach. But don't forget about Golden Arrows. I think Mandela too is in the midst there because he has done very well. Beating up to now. But for me, I think between Williams and Dennis Onyango, I would give one of them.
Okay, there we go. As a representative of the goalkeepers union, there we go. Let's look at that game at the weekend, because the Tshwane derby was on the go, but it ended in a 0-0 stalemate, which I guess you could say is credit to the defenders and to the goalkeepers in this case, but also goes to show that, you know what, as far as Sundowns are concerned, they bring the A game out of most teams when a team plays against them. But for SuperSport United to kind of manage them as they did at the weekend, what did you take from that performance?
I think both teams were managing the opposition,
Yeah.
each other's strengths.
Yeah.
And where you had SuperSport being very compact and not allowing the combination play, and you had Sundowns putting a lot of pressure on the defense of SuperSport when they had the ball, because they didn't want to have that clear long ball to Kabuza or to Grobler and then build up from there. So they were always putting him under pressure. That's why a lot of the passes were going a bit wayward. When you look at even the successful passing rate. So in that sense, I must give credit, as Greg was saying, to Dennis and Yango in this game, because he knew that it was going to be a lot of long balls. He knew that SuperSport's can score from set pieces.
Yeah.
So he came out for quite a few crosses, got him tremendously, and a lot of the corners as well. When it comes, Sundowns contained SuperSport quite well, and I think SuperSport as well contained Sundowns to a certain degree. I was just very happy with the amount of confidence that Caetano had in the youngsters. I mean, he threw in Keenan Phillips, a phenomenal game. Mokoena up until he was taken off through the injury. Mbuli, Lunga, I mean, he's trying in youngsters here and you know, testing them, and they definitely passed the test. And so yes, I'm happy. I think it was a good draw, but a very tactical one.
Yeah, for sure. And then what do you make of Toby Mbala? You know, he seems to have slipped in and fits like a glove in that team. And we're seeing, you know, these players coming in as part of the handprint of the three wise men. What do you make of his performance? And should Klompo Kekana maybe start looking, I don't know, not elsewhere? I mean, he's such a mainstay at Mamelodi Sundowns, but he's not getting a look in at the moment, really.
I would like him to also touch on Mvala, because
for sure,
it's his former teammate. And,
for sure.
But look, for me, I've always liked Toby. Not a fancy player, and sometimes I understand we live in a country where people maybe adore more players who
shine.
Yes, but we tend to not to appreciate those grafters, you know,
who keep it simple,
who do the dirty work.
Yes,
get the ball, win the ball,
break up play.
You know, break up play. Give it to those who will go on and attack. But also, Mvala comes up with something that very few players who play in his position do. Mvala will guarantee you more than 7 goals a season as a goal scorer.
Definitely.
You know, and when you have a defender or a defensive midfielder who guarantees you goals, that one he has to be the first one on the starting lineup.
For sure.
Because he's doing a dual role
that
you won't get from most of the players.
Right.
And that's what Mvala offers you. Mvala was responsible for single-handedly, together with Shalulile, for taking Highlands Park back to the PSR from the first division.
Yes.
You know, and so for me, if you look at players like Shalulile, look at Mvala, those are kind of players that Sundowns didn't have.
Right.
And you are still going to see more of him when he plays in the Champions League, as you've seen already. He's got 2 goals in only 2 matches in the Champions League. And now we are going to the group stages. That's where you're going to see him. That's why already he's got national colors. He was part of the Olympics. You know, but it's just that I so wish that South African football fans can grow in understanding the game better and appreciate that talent.
For sure. Let's talk about the Mbala the man. Because like Veli says, you know him very well. In terms of, are you surprised at all by what you're seeing?
No,
or is this culmination
I'm
of
not surprised,
the individual?
For him, off the field, it's a good guy. You know, on the field, is someone you see as a tough guy. You know, and you know, many coaches all over the whole world. You know, you need a player that can do both defending and attacking. You know, in terms of set piece, which he can produce that for you. You know, when you're attacking wise, he can get to the box and score with his head. Defending wise, he can do that too. I mean, if you check his stats from Highlands, he played most of his career at Highlands. You know, before going to Sundowns, he's a player that he give you more energy on the pitch. You know, he run more. You know, in terms of his tackle, he doesn't shy of that, and he's a player that works very hard off the field. So I'm not surprised for him to break into the Sundowns team. Sundowns have a massive, a group of players, for him to break into that team. It took him time. It took him time. We were expecting he's just going to come in and, get his chance, but it took him time. You have the person like Kekana there, who's a legend, but, Kekana can give you something different, which Mbala can give you something different too.
Yeah.
So it depends on the game you're playing. And the game against SuperSport, Mbala was a typical example. You need him there, defensive-wise and attacking-wise. I'm not surprised, and he's going to go places. I don't think he's going to end his finishing career at Sundowns. He's going to go overseas because this man, he has been working very hard.
He's that type of a player.
Right.
And also that's what the group stages, Champions League, is going to expose him to other markets, especially in the European market and also in the Asian markets. That's where they watch. If you look at Sundowns, Pesitao, Bongani Zungu, Kick and Dolly.
Right.
They were all signed after the Champions League group stages because that's where they were exposed. The boy from Pirates, Munetsi, he played in the AFCON qualifiers and group stages, Champions League. That's why, for me, even Chiefs in the group stages now, if Kama was there, Solly Nukovic, come end of the season, those players will be receiving offers from the European market.
There even could be more lucrative offers in Africa itself for the players
In
themselves.
some part of Africa, they always look to South African players.
You even have, for example, you even have Coach Putzo now at Al Ahly, and he's, he could be monitoring situations like this. So,
Coach
opportunities.
Pizzo, by the way, signed
him.
Mvala.
Right. So he will be monitoring.
There we go. His development. Okay. Well, there we go. It's a good place to start, but we've got so much more show to go. So please don't go too far away. After the break, we carry on here. Use that hashtag of MNF on Soweto TV. We'll be right back. Welcome back. It is Monday Night Football on Soweto TV. Make sure to use that hashtag just in front of that, MNF on Soweto TV, to join the discussion. Now, after beating TTM in the north, Orlando Pirates decided to camp up there and wait out their game with Black Leopards, which happened yesterday. And of course, Black Leopards were able to mangle the Buccaneers and get a good 2-0 victory against Joseph Zimbabwe's men. So, gents, that's one of those results where I guess, it was a potential banana peel because big teams come to town. They always bring out these performances. But Greg, you were pretty sure that Orlando Pirates were going to win this one.
Yeah.
Very confident last week.
So confident.
What went wrong?
I think I might say, overconfident. Going to the game and think you have already won it without playing yet. I just feel that there's a lot of things went wrong. You can't blame the weather. The weather was okay, perfect weather for both teams. But I expect Pirates with Kashoyo coming back as a captain, to lead that team. Because if you look the past form, and over 26 games they have played in Toyando, they haven't lost. So with that performance and with that record, you always expect them to do well.
Records are there to be broken.
That's what happened. When Black Leopards, because beating TTM 3-0. You expect them at least, to get one goal, at least to score a goal against Black Leopard. Black Leopard was bottom of the log, but if you check the game, the final third, a Pirate was always in the final third. Okay, if you don't score, it doesn't count. With the own goal, I thought with that own goal, they could have organized more and go to first half with 1-0.
Right.
Scoring that 2 goal, it can be a good point, a good advantage for you. It can be disadvantage. If Pirates score early in the second half, could have been on a different game.
Right.
But credit must go to Black Leopard. They defend very well. You have Ramaji there, the captain. About that own goal, there's nothing you can do. Delivery of the ball, it was a good delivery there, so there's nothing you can do. You try to defend, but it's an own goal, it's an own goal. Things can happen like that, but Pirates, I never expect them to lose this game.
You never expected it. Let's talk about Happy and Tyson playing for the first time together, Belile, albeit forced. Nyawuza and Newster have the clash of heads. Nyawuza gets taken out. And now you have what I guess a lot of Pirates fans have been wondering, why isn't this the combination anyway? What did you make of that combination? Like I say, it's not ideal. They didn't think they were going to play together, ended up playing together. Do you see something happening there, or not enough to convince you that they can play together, or it's either Happy or it's either Tyson? How do you see that one?
It goes back to the conversation we had the other week here. When you have Tyson, you need someone who's more like going to hold Tyson's hand,
Right.
and somebody who's also more of a ball-playing centre-back.
Yes.
You know, because Tyson is not going to offer you that.
Right.
And this is how they also had Mkhwanazi and Tyson playing. And now one gets to understand why there's talk of Mkhwanazi going to Pirates.
Right.
I'm just not sure if it's the right move, you know. Look, like they are also doing at Sundowns with Hlompo, more of managing him. Maybe that's what they were looking at doing with Happy as well,
Right.
to manage him,
Yeah.
you know. But I feel that I'm not sure if it's a perfect combination, Tyson and Nyawuza. Because for me, they're a bit of similar type of centre backs.
Right.
You need a sweeper that is quicker to cover.
Yes. So, for instance, Pirates, I think I miss the long pass.
Yeah.
The long pass from that diagonal ball sometimes.
Yes,
also
they
from,
can just
from,
change
from
the pace
Happy.
of the game, for
And
sure.
Because Happy, for me, is the best passer of the ball when it comes to centre backs in the PSL. You know, so those are the big decisions that Pirates has to make. Yes, they want to manage Happy, but I feel that Happy could also be a perfect partner for Tyson.
Right.
You know?
Well, let's talk about that because obviously, you know, Shoaib, you recently retired, and when it comes to managing a player, whose choice is that? Is it a discussion that the coach has with you as a player that, listen, we're going to work like this? Or is it the technical team deciding for you, the player, that this is how they're going to handle you? How consultative is it?
Look, it depends on which team you're at. You will get it from your fitness coach, or you'll get it from the technical team, one of the technical team members. But I do believe that when I saw Happy Jelly coming in for the last 20 minutes in the last game,
Yeah.
I thought maybe he was going to start this game.
Sure. Yeah.
Tyson wasn't even in the squad in the previous game.
Yeah.
He was
Suspended.
Sorry,
Yeah.
suspended.
Yeah.
He was suspended. So I thought that there was going to be a little bit of continuity if you are talking about managing, because now you play 25 minutes, now you come in and you can play a full 90. Let's see what you can.
Yeah, sure.
So I honestly, with the way they are going about things, I don't think Happy Jelly is being man-managed. I think he is just a backup. That's my opinion at the moment. He's the backup to Nyauza and Tyson. Or if one of them gets injured, he'll come in, or if one of them, they will. Because I mean, you even look at when Tyson was suspended, they used Maela there and Nyauza. So then it can't be managing. There has to be something else. And that
Something
is,
else, which is?
we maybe to a certain degree they feel that he's not good enough, and they're just keeping him there for being the club captain.
Well, this is the thing. I
Which
mean,
is-
there's a sense that some people think that that's caused a division now in the team. That you have someone like Happy who, even the players themselves can't seem to understand why someone as good and experienced as him isn't getting the game time.
Yeah, and the other thing again, I mean, Pirates is a team that, you know, okay, we call them big team, you know. Most of the time you attack Pirates is when they try to chase the game, you know. If your game starts, Pirates always on the front foot every time.
Yeah.
So you always have defend. It's perfect defend there. You have your left back there. You have your Jelly and Tyson there, you know, covering up, because you can't attack Pirates. You always want to defend against Pirates, against Chiefs, against Sundowns. So it's a perfect combination which they should continue to use, you know, and you benefit them, because Tyson have done well previous season. I say Tyson and Jelly have done well previous season. You can't just all of a sudden, because you sign a new player, and you just drop in. And the player, you know, players who have that mentality. He has a friend. He have friends in the camp. You know, Tyson has his national team captain. You want to make him, you know, Pirate captain. It's fine.
Yeah.
But when Jelly is in the field, he get that captain armband. You play according to your big team. You attack more team, except you are one goal down, and you score Pirates with set piece. You know, maybe, you know, they try to lose concentration, you score them. But when they're chasing the game, that's where you have more chances. But when the game starts, Pirates always have chances. So I don't see any way that you can drop Jelly and you know, play Tyson with somebody else. If the other player is good, it's fine. You can play.
So you agree with my preferred combination?
Yeah,
Happy and Tyson.
Tyson.
Then who's the captain when those two are on?
Obviously, Jelly.
Jelly is the
Right.
captain.
So now, when people say you see the situation where Tyson gets given the armband,
When Jelly come into the field, and Jelly come to the field, you give him handband. It's respect. It's everywhere in the whole world.
He did. He didn't put it on, but he just handed it to him.
Yeah,
Like, there you go.
I mean, that's how you do that, because you need to. There's a club captain. If the club captain is not playing, the next guy take over. But when he's on the pitch, you must give him the captain band.
Okay, let's give credit also where it's due with Leopards. They had what was almost a flawless game, you know? It's not often that you watch a team that is at the bottom of the table and they put such a structured and cohesive performance together, you know? And some will say that the introduction of Hlonolo Siema to the technical team could also help as far as how resolute they were, this Black Leopards side. Did you see a different Black Leopards side, or did you just see a Black Leopards side that raised their game for the Pirates team in town?
I think since the arrival of Rodney Ramakalela
Right.
at Leopards, you can see that attack now has got some bite.
Right.
You know, and you can also see how Ovid Karuru has also raised his game.
And so has Kabwe.
Kabwe,
Yeah.
you know, I think for me that was one of the things I was complaining about when I went to the press conference of they were introducing new players. And there were very few players who were really exciting me.
Right.
But Kabwe, I felt they got someone who was really doing well. A talent like Kabwe, for me, didn't deserve to play in the first division, you know. So to see him, and I mean, I like midfielders who make those late runs into the box.
Yeah.
You see how he took that goal yesterday.
Very well.
You know. But also, when you've got someone at the top who is giving the opposition problems, like Rodney Ramakalela. You saw him yesterday.
Yes.
Took the initial shot, which went for a rebound, and then there was the assist from Karuru. So I felt that's where they are making some progress. But also the Mtetwa, playing in the midfield. Because yesterday he put in a good shift in that midfield. Because, as I said, teams like Pirates is that team that will play you at the intermediate zone. You know, that's where the Pirates, there's a lot of counter pressing that you have to do against them. If you're to beat them. And I think that's where Leopards won the game yesterday.
I wonder now if they'll be able to keep that going, because it's one thing to do it when the big teams are in town, but you obviously need to do it so you can progress further up the table. Let's talk about a team that are doing that rather consistently this season in Baroka Swallows, or Swallows FC. Sorry, I went back in time there. I'm sure a lot of people refer to it like that still, but let's talk about their performance, because they played a Baroka side now, Schwabe, where it looks like, you know, I don't want to say the wheels are coming off, but, you know, if they don't arrest what's happening, they could see themselves further slide down. They made a hot start to the season, but maybe when you play the likes of Swallows FCs and teams who know what they're doing, you're going to get a truer sense of where you belong in the PSL picture.
Look, I think you hit the nail on the head there when you said the wheels are falling off, but I think the wheels fell off because they got 12 points. The first 6 was in the first 2 games of the season. So they picked up 6 in 9 games. Let me just check my maths here. So yeah, 9 games, they picked up 6 points. So 1 win and 3 draws, that is, you know, showing a steady downhill there. And I think there is concerns. But at the end of the day, is Swallows FC.
Yes.
They are just, you know, going about their business, you know, keeping it compact, not conceding, and, you know, taking the opportunities. Okay, it's another penalty. I think it's the 3rd now in the last month and a half for Swallows FC. We don't know. We need to go and follow up if there's maybe a little bit of politics involved with that. But yeah, I mean,
What, the penalty?
Yeah. No. Look, it's a clear-cut penalty. But at the end of the day, you know, they've got now 3. So
no, man. If you hack someone down, it's a penalty. It's a penalty.
Yes, I know, and it was a penalty. I agree.
Yeah.
That was just a joke.
Unfortunately, the game was not televised.
Yeah, so we will never know.
And also, there are no journalists allowed in the stadium.
So we'll never know.
They really couldn't conquer if it was a penalty or not a penalty. But yeah, I think, look, at the end of the day, the Swallows are doing the business. Baroka, hopefully with Vincent Kubola there now, bringing some experience and, you know, just...
Experience what? In coaching?
No, his experience with players and also knowing what it is. I mean, he's worked with you. He's worked with.
You can say, I know where Vele is going to. He's going to because he doesn't have badges.
Yeah.
Sometimes you might not have the badges, but you know what you're doing as a coach.
No, but you should know what you're doing as a coach and get badges.
Yeah,
You
yeah.
can't- you know what I
No,
mean?
you can. The two can go together.
Yes.
But maybe he doesn't have time for him to go to that courses now. Maybe after the season he can get that badge.
But when a team is starting to be in a crisis mode, like Baroka,
Yeah.
I feel that they are getting into that space now.
Yeah.
You need to have that kind of experience. It doesn't necessarily have to be the head coach, but that kind of experience on the bench. You know,
But I think-
somebody who's going to be the voice of reason.
No, but I think that he can be. Where I think he's good at is that to calm, because remember when you're in crisis you are panicking, and that is where you need a ex-player. And I know he's probably will be looking at empowering himself when it comes
Yeah.
to the badges.
And
but
obviously, yeah.
in that sense now, in that it's not you can have Jose Mourinho there with UEFA Pro license. He might not be the remedy to cure that, and I think with his experience in difficult situations can help with the players as well. So for me, it's yes, I understand where you coming from.
No,
where you coming from, really.
He's coming on their side.
not
Yeah. But
convinced.
some
He's
of the
not
coaches they have that badges, but they're not doing well. Some came from Europe, from Italy.
Yeah, but that can't be an
particularly.
argument, Greg.
No, I
that
know,
can't be an
but
argument. You
because-
can't say to me,
but if you check Vincent with what's his name, Eric Tinkler,
Yes.
what they have done together.
Are you saying Eric Tinkler is going to go join him at Baroka?
No, I'm not saying that, but you never know what's going to happen. But I mean, it's a good step for him. I mean, he can do that after the season. I mean, he's doing his work now, but after the season he can do that, and we're going to support him. But he have to get the result.
And that's his home province.
Yeah.
And Popo, yes.
Okay.
Hey,
That's what we
okay,
can see.
guys. I mean, I'm not. You're not making a compelling argument.
No,
I get
no.
what
But
you're
you
saying.
see-
Like as a support structure, maybe to go in there and be a good presence. But
Yeah.
like Bailey says, you need someone who needs to come in and say, "This is what we're going to do to get out of this." Not, "I'm going to make you feel good about giving me better performances."
But what is his job description? His job description is not head coach.
Yeah.
That is your head coach's job. So when you're gonna if things are going to be
No, sorry. Like,
down.
a typical example now. A team
you
not.
worked there
It-
at Baroka.
Yeah, I've worked there. Yeah, there's a lot of things that happen there. Yeah, a lot of. I mean, okay, apart from Spaghetti, is the only one that have pro license.
Yeah.
Yes.
The rest, okay, we're talking about Kobola one is a different scenario. I'm talking about the people that were there, before he came there. But my argument is give Vincent a chance.
chance.
Give him a chance. It's a typical example. You have a team that is struggling. A head coach have a badge. He have badges. The assistant coach, most of the teams they use now, legends, he doesn't have a badges. So, and the head coach you give the assistant coach who doesn't have a badge and start doing well. What do you do? It's something that we need to
what
consider.
we need to appreciate is that there's a lot that goes in terms of preparing the team.
Yes.
And as ex-pros, they know what I'm talking about.
Yeah.
During the week leading to the game, there's a lot of hard work. And there, the expert coaching that needs to take place.
Yeah.
You understand? Yes, you can be an ex-player, you can have that experience, you can have that in the dressing room, but there's a lot of coaching that needs to take place.
It's true. It's true.
That's what I'm saying. It can't be a feeling.
Yeah,
Yes.
it's true.
It can't be a feeling.
So my question is then, if do you know what qualifications does Cobra have?
Who?
Cobra. Ayanda de la
Ayanda.
Mena.
Well, this was part of the discussion as to why he got relieved of his
Okay,
duties.
No.
yes, but now look at say for example, he has the minimal qualifications, but look what he did in the bubble
Thank you.
with Munib Josephs.
Yeah. So
So
the argument
No, guys. No. This is a
Was it-
slippery
was it-
slope.
was
This is a
it
slippery
sustainable?
slope.
Was
This
it
is a slippery
sustainable?
slope.
It
No,
wasn't
but-
sustainable. It
No,
wasn't
no.
sustainable.
I think the mistake that we make here.
Yeah.
No, we
I think the mistake that we make, and that's why people, when they talk about Coach Molefe Ntseki, and they say, but he's never coached in the PSL, that should not be the yardstick.
Yeah.
Because in the PSL, some of the coaches are not coaching there because they are the best.
Right.
It's because it's the feeling of the club owner.
Yes.
Yeah.
To say, no, I prefer this one.
Yeah.
'Cause
And
he's
sometimes the
also
club
more
owner
malleable.
prefers this one because this one can be controlled.
Exactly. I can do
But
this.
that's most of the clubs in the PSL. So what we are saying is, I'm not saying. What I'm saying is we need to give him a chance because
Yeah.
we've given others a chance also without qualification.
Sure.
Now, I'm not saying that you don't need it.
You
You
need
need
it.
to get it. But if the opportunity was to
And also,
present itself,
he's just an assistant. He's not the head coach.
Yeah,
Yeah.
yeah. He's
Yeah,
going
so,
there to be just
so
an
I'm not against. I'm not against. But they must be encouraged
To get the coach
to also equip
badges.
themselves.
I
Exactly.
agree with you because look, he's been with Eric for 2 seasons. He
Yeah.
was a chipper for a pretty brief moment then at
Yes.
Maritzburg, so he has ample time. He had the ample time. So if he's gone there now without qualifications, then it is on him.
But,
Yes.
but,
Yes.
but most, no,
Yes.
Shaib,
Yes.
you know, most of the courses they're taking place. They're only taking place in March. Which
Now
maybe
that's
you
a-
have done.
now-
Maybe you have done the D license, which we don't know.
Mm-hmm.
So maybe you want to go the C or B. I mean, that's you're gauging from there. But
okay.
most of the qualification, if you check with this pandemic and everything, some of the courses are not taking place throughout last year.
But there are guys who take the initiative.
Yep.
Webinars.
Go the UEFA route.
You
They
can do webinars.
webinars as well.
Yeah. There is a way. Where there's a
Yeah.
will, there's a way.
But yes.
I'm going to leave it at that.
If I
We're
can-
running out of time.
Yeah, if I can just lastly end off and
Yeah.
put a shout out to Safa to also please get back to me with regards to course that I've
You see your own agenda here.
If they
This
can,
is the
please
problem
get back
here.
to me.
Because sometimes we come here, we hit the coaches for not having badges,
Yeah.
but also the SAFA coaching education department
There you Yes. go.
has to step up as well.
Right.
Because a number of coaches have complained about that.
I agree.
But also to an extent, it comes from KEF as well. Because it was KEF which took the break to say they are stopping, especially for the A license,
Yeah.
the B license, and
Yeah.
the C
Yeah.
I
license.
want them to
So,
change.
so I to an extent, I feel that the SAFA coaching
Yep.
education department
They need to step up.
is also to blame.
Okay, okay, gents. We're going to have much more to reflect on. We're just taking a short little break, but the discussion has been robust. I hope you've been enjoying it. It continues as MNF on Soweto TV continues after the break. And we're back. It's Monday Night Football on Soweto TV as we now celebrate, I guess, with the Kosi Nation who have seen their team record back-to-back victories in the league this season for the first time. And they did it with a good performance in the end. I think, you know, we can speak about how Cape Town City is such a good team, gents, but on the day, they huffed and they puffed, but they couldn't blow Gavin's house down. And Gavin, you know, trusting the youth, was able to put out a team there that was high impact, got a good start. And, you know, I feel like maybe the mood in the camp now is that, guys, no one is giving us a chance. Everyone's saying we're not doing well. Let's just go out there and play our football and play for ourselves. And in a way, it seems that that's encouraging players to go out there and grab the mantle. I mean, you look at the youngsters coming into the side and being so effective. We didn't expect this against Cape Town City. Can it be said that maybe this is a surprising result?
No, you know what for me was I was going for a draw.
Yeah.
Reason being was I felt there was going to be goals in the game, but I think Cape Town City's mental approach to the game was a little bit off because I think they just thought this game was there for the taking because this team is down in dumps.
Yeah.
And they just come back from one win, but I mean they're not doing well.
Yeah.
And that was to their demise at the end of the day because I mean with Kaizer Chiefs I liked Gavin's structure. I mean he said, okay, you know what, I'm gonna sit not deep, I'm gonna sit in the middle pressure. So just inside their half, and I'm gonna hit on transition. And that's what he did. And he did it well. They did it well for up until the second goal, up until the second half, sorry. And then I just felt that they panicked a little bit. And that's gonna happen. Yes, and then you're gonna allow a team in with a lot of energy. I mean, you're having Craig Martin coming in, pace. You're having, you know, shots on target, hitting the post, and you're just feeling it's not gonna go your way. But they had a bit more urgency. I do think on Cape Town City side they're missing the duo at the back with Mubara and with Phyllis. And I think it even showed over here as well. I mean, yes, Makola must take a little bit of blame when it comes to Nobo's goal because he's pressure. I mean, he just allowed the guy to go through and then take the shot. Nobo's good shot, and then obviously they hit on transition. One player that must get a lot of credit for me is Nurkovic. I mean, assist to the second goal.
Yeah.
And the goal against AmaZulu. He's made a good impact, and we've said it last week that he's going to be an influential player for them.
No, for sure.
I mean, 2 games in, assist and a goal for
Yeah,
Nukovic.
for sure.
And I think just the presence of him, in terms of the confidence.
Yeah, that it gives everyone else, no?
Exactly. But also the threat to the opposition as well. You know, because the opposition, they tend to focus on him.
Yes.
And Machine
Allowing
was
other
there,
people to, yeah.
you know, so he draws defenders away
Yes.
from his teammates, you know, and I think this is where the only thing with him is that he's two games back, 2 yellow cards. You know? So that's just one concern now. So if he gets a yellow card against, in fact, there are 3 games before the derby.
Yes.
They play TTM tomorrow. They then play Stellenbosch over the weekend, and then
Right.
Baroka next week. If he gets 2 yellow cards
Yes.
in these 3 games, is out of the
Yeah.
derby. That's the only issue.
And also,
with him.
coming back to Veli's point there, also the amount of games, and he just came back from a pretty long injury. So managing him as well is also going to be very important now.
Yes, but I think also the injuries to Kama, and also the injuries
So
to
there's a pressure
to Castro.
for him to be used.
Exactly.
Yeah.
Yeah. But also, don't mind the issue of he's been back for some time now.
Okay.
Yeah,
he was not
he's match
playing,
fit.
yeah,
He's
yeah.
match
So he's
fit.
match fit.
He's
Yeah,
proper
yeah,
match
yeah,
fit.
yeah,
He's
yeah.
proper match fit. Let's talk about the experiment that seems to be going well. Daniel Cardozo now being that linchpin in what, you know, just sitting in front of the defense and being able to play on the ball and actually, you know, I guess now we're seeing Gavin getting creative.
Yeah.
And people thought maybe, okay, just one game, but he seems to be persisting and working.
With Gavin,
Clean sheet
you know,
again.
I've worked with him. I know how he thinks in terms of his. He have changed now, you know, because a lot of pressure on Kaizer Chiefs were not Swallows before. You know, he can convert a player playing right back to a centre midfield or attacking player, and he does that. He did that with Goodman Mazibuku when he was Free State. He was playing centre back. Pirate, he was playing midfield, but now he's playing more attacking and defensive. And typical Cardoso, he's a defender. You can play anywhere. Say a good player can play any position in the pitch, you know. But I think Gavin did very well, you know, staying in front of the centre backs, you know, protecting them, just the shade there, you know, and he did a massive job. For me, I give him man of the match. But never, we should not forget again, you know, with this game, 46 minutes in the second half, the big save Daniel Pei made.
Super save.
So with that save, you know, I mean, okay, you always know that Cape Town City is going to come back. They're going to have this chance to sit in the bar. Okay, imagine that goal in.
Is that the save just before halftime?
No,
Yes.
he made,
There's one just before halftime he made.
A strong
And
hand.
left.
Yeah.
Now that was also crucial, and then also just
So-
after halftime.
Just after.
So I think for me in that game, okay, you can say, okay, they got 3 points more. You must give 1 point to Daniel Pei, you know, for keeping them in the game. They finally scored the goal towards the end, you know, which, I mean, you expect that the team will throw everything to them. You know, you have Castro defending now. Everybody's defending, putting their line and their body on the line. With Gavin Hunt, you know, I always know him that if you score you one, you know, during his days as Swallows and Vets, you know, score you one, it's hard for you to come back, you know. But, you know, never forget this Chiefs team is trying to mold, is trying to get his own, you know, philosophy to them, which is going to be difficult. When you go to a big team, there's players that think that, you know, we do our thing this way. So I think he's trying to change them down. But with this win now, I think it's going to motivate them.
Yeah, but, you know, I just want to go back to Cardoso because I asked the coach in the post-match presser, and interestingly, the coach was also talking about Cardoso having been a striker. And this is something that I've also heard from those who've seen him play at Yeboyes, and the Pirates reserve team, and also in the Vets juniors as well. He was also a striker, and I think it was at Free State Stars, Coach Steve used to use him in the midfield, but also as a left back.
Yes.
So that's why I was not surprised when the other day even Gavin played at left back. It's always been versatile like that. But I think the issue here is also about Cape Town City, and their coach got a bit defensive when I asked him about this. That if a team like they play good football, granted,
Yes,
but
easy
they
on the eye.
concede a lot.
They've
I think they've got the worst defensive record this season. These guys, and they conceded 2 goals in this game. They conceded 2 goals midweek against were they playing TTM last weekend? That other weekend.
The
two old draw.
Against Swallows.
They actually considered 20 goals and they score 19. They concede. They concede. They cannot see.
Because when you don't have a clean sheet, first thing, when you don't have a clean sheet,
No,
you're not
it's-
guaranteed a point.
Sure.
You know,
Sure.
but you keep clean sheets, you're guaranteed points. I mean, look at Sundowns. They've conceded only five goals, and you look at Dennis Onyango, 8 clean sheets from 10 matches,
sure.
only 2 goals conceded, and the other 3 goals to make 5 were conceded in one game, and it was Kennedy
Mwene.
who conceded those
Sure.
goals. You know, so for me, yes, sometimes I know that. Especially in South Africa, we always all about good football, but also this is a results game.
Yeah, that's true.
No, you're right. And I mean, all that said, with Cape Town City, what can they hope for this season? Because here's a team that plays something that is attractive, but not as effective as I'm sure they'd even like it to be.
I just think that they need to change a little bit with the mindset when it comes to have that certain degree of urgency when you are 0-0.
Yeah.
Because what you see with the type of football that Cape Town City plays, it's similar to Pirates a few years ago. Like Greg was talking about, you want to put the other opposition on the back foot, so you want to score first, and that is not working for them because they're being hit on the transition. So now the coach needs to look at his holding midfielder. How am I defending? Because for the transition goal with Nokovic to Mashiani,
Yes.
Mkhize was still by the corner flag of chasing back.
Yes. It was good counter pressing by Chiefs.
Yes, but you understand. So there needs to be a certain degree of balance, but there also needs to be a little bit of intelligence from the players, from Tato Mokeke. I mean, you see Mkhize is going, so you can play as another defender because Mashiani was alone. Nokovic drew the Greek defender, and then Cupido went to cover him, and then it was open. It was a freeway. So now you need that Mokeke there because you see Mkhize. So a little bit intelligence from the players, but also structures from the team itself and the technical team.
Yeah.
So I think with the type of football that he wants to play, to answer your question, he needs to first of all score first, and if he doesn't, it's going to be hard. But now then also you need a little bit of sensible playing in your defense and your defensive midfield.
But with Aaron Mokoena going to Cape Town City, you expect by now at least the defensive line should be sorted now, because we know Aaron Mokoena, former Bafana captain, he's a strong man, he knows how to organize his defense. With him there now, I think you need to get into those guys, their head, let them know that defending comes first.
With his coaching licenses.
Yeah, and if you get a point, as Vele said, you go to a game, you already have 1 point. So it's either you keep that 1 point or you get the 3. So if you cannot get the 3, you keep the 1 point.
Keep it
and
as
also
simple as that.
now, there's not enough time to coach. Because every 3 days you're playing.
For sure.
Every 3 days you're playing. If
Learn
you look
on the
at
field.
the jam-packed program this month, and it doesn't look like next month is going to improve. It's going to be still the same program. So there's not enough time for coaching.
Prioritization now needs to take place, more resting, we just have to be mentally strong when you go to games.
Okay, well, let's see how that pans out. We're going to be speaking about the ins and outs as far as some managerial appointments that have been made, and of course some player transfers with the likes of Anthony Lafort finding himself a new team. And we're going to speak about Dan Dance getting 3 points against his former employers after the break. So we know that TS Galaxy recently appointed Owen Da Gama as their new head coach, meaning that Dan Dance Malesela would reunite with Chippa United. And what a reuniting experience it was, I guess, a reunification of 3 points worth at the weekend, Shoaib. You see a coach leave a team and go back against his former employers, and on first time of trying gets 3 points against them in what are, I'm sure, familiar surroundings for Dan Dance.
Yes, I think he's been at Chippa United, so he's quite familiar with the players, and I think he knows what it is. A little bit of more motivation for him was obviously to want to get back at beating his older club, his previous club, sorry. And I think he must have pushed the players because they showed some good energy, and I mean away from home to grab 3 points. It's a good thing for him. But we also have to look at with TS Galaxy now with Owen Da Gama, it's a transformation. It's not going to be
immediate,
and it's not going to be immediate. But it's also you in this transformation and teething period now. You're going to have this types of results because it's a transformation of a coach that is completely different to what they've had before. Yes, there's players there at TS Galaxy that he's worked with, but it's now for them coming from a
they've been conditioned differently,
to a hard running team, and I'm going to win. outrun teams. And
Yeah.
that's how I win compared to before where I'm gonna outplay teams. So we have to be patient, and congratulations to Sean Bartlett, who's also joined now in their technical team, and the fitness coach Miss Connolly is also joined in.
Yeah.
So I think we should just give them a little bit of time. I do think their fortunes are going to change, and we hope the best.
Greg, having been in the mix there, how long does that take? There's no preseason. Like we've just said, now the games are coming thick and fast. How does ODG get his team playing now?
For Owen, every day, it's preseason, every day. I was there, with him for 1 year. I know what to feel, but with, what's her name again? Colin?
Connolly.
Yeah, Connolly there. She's a top class physical trainer. She know her job. She has been doing very well. She was at Royal AM. But because Owen is with Galas and you have to join him there. With Sean there. There's a lot of good hairs there, a lot of experience. Coaches.
But how long does it take to bet in this
the
type of play?
Now they're bottom of the log. I think because with Owen, it suits him now because the way he plays, the style of play he play direct football. You want to get results. You want to get results. You want to get into your half as quick as possible, and they have the players that can run. With they play against Chippa. The good thing Chippa did, they score in the 4th minute.
Yes,
which you score early and you can keep the ball because goal is like a power. In your team. If you have that goal, they need to chase you now. So, but with Owen, I think he's gonna turn the table around. They are bottom of the log now, with the win Leopard gods, and I know he's not going to be resting now. He's going to make sure he motivate the guys, and he's a good motivator. He'll make sure he motivate the guys, and their next game is going to be an interesting one.
It will be. Velile, looking at that at TS Galaxy, bringing Sean Bartlett, what do you think he brings to the equation?
Yeah, well, look, good thing is that he's got the PSL experience. He's coached teams, Arrows, coached Matax, but most importantly, he spent a lot of time at Chiefs. So I think that's to have someone who is at that level, and also the respect is going to command also from the dressing room as well. He's a legend. He's played in the EPL. So I think, so it's also good for. Because I was looking at this one very closely in terms of what Coach Owen was going to do, and I think he just proved me right. Don't take the assistant that you are given. Come with your own. Yeah. Because if you notice with Mtsweni, even Dance found Mtsweni there, then he was given Mtsweni. But now Coach Owen came with
constructing his own team.
Yes, Sean Bartlett, because Sean Bartlett, even on his own, can be a head coach.
Sure. Sure.
And it's also good. It's like what is happening at Sundowns. You must bring in strong coaches next year.
If they're available, why not?
Exactly. And don't be threatened to say no.
Ship in here.
This guy is a head coach on his own. No. It's for the betterment of the team.
For sure.
But now, it's not just about the names. We must see the results.
Of course.
But I think a good candidate to have been brought. Yeah.
Okay.
But yeah.
Let's talk about, before we run out of time, what's happening with TTM. It seems now that there's more news kind of filtering out. The Players Union are saying they're going to meet with the players after their game with Chiefs this week. It just seems that there's instability starting to grow again, maybe summed up in the frustration of Mulangwane at the weekend. What's happening within that team? Velile, what's the word on the street with the TTM, and why are the players feeling these ruptions? Is it back to being the simple focus, money?
Things are bad.
Yeah.
Things are bad at TTM. And, sometimes we hate this thing of always talking about TTM as if
we'd like for it to be a good news story.
Exactly.
We'd like for it.
But things are bad.
Yeah.
You see, when I say, there are players who don't see at TTM anymore. They're not training. Some have not received their December salaries.
Ngele went from being the man, scoring, and now where is he?
And you could pick up from when they sold Shonga. You could see that, because maybe Shonga is costing them more in the pocket.
Sure.
So rather sell him now and so that you can take that money and
Pay other players.
and pay other players. I'm not even sure if even the technical team, they're getting their monies in full. You know, so there are a lot of problems at TTM, and I'm sure even the new owner is like, you know, can't wait for maybe the season to end, because you don't want this situation to drag the team into relegation zone.
Sure.
And as things
Stand.
stand,
Yeah.
It's going to.
they're like this.
Yes.
Look, they fought against Golden Arrows.
Golden Arrows.
I mean, they were one man down as well as the 25th minute.
Yeah.
Right.
After Malongwane was sent off,
Yeah.
but they fought. In fact, they hit the post twice.
Yeah.
Towards the end.
Fighting for their futures, yeah.
You know, yes, in that game. But that fighting spirit, if more and more players are not getting paid,
Yeah.
it's gonna
Go down.
go
go
down.
down.
Because the biggest thing is obviously with the more experienced players, and not the more talented players, but the more well-known players are on the bigger packages. So if they automatically going to start adding up and not playing,
The quality of the team.
the
goes
quality, yes, you're going to have fighting spirit, but the quality of the team is just going to go down. So then it's yes, you're going to have fighting spirit, but fighting spirit is not always going to win
Enough.
you games.
Yeah.
And for me, it's just that we were mentioning this the beginning of the beginning of the season in our first couple of shows, and we were predicting this, and we were getting people that were saying you naysayers,
we are doomsayers, and
we
yeah.
doomsayers, and we wishing bad on clubs, but it's because we've been in this business, and we can see
The
things
signs,
and
yeah.
signs, and that is what why we question. So now they can see also, and the public can see what we were talking about a few months ago, when
sure.
we were getting given hard times.
Sure.
No,
Greg, you were in a similar situation at Swallows, right?
It's just only one. It's only one thing that's going to happen. It's relegation. There's no other
Simple
way.
as
It's
that.
just simple as that. Because I've been in that situation. I know. Sometimes you have players that come for loan. And they don't care. You don't care. You don't pay them. They don't play. They don't put effort. And you see, you start a training. When the player is not paid, he's coming from a big team. And he's on loan. Most of the players, the majority are from loan. The one they try to buy and they don't pay them. They're coming from big team. They always pay them in their team they're coming from. And you come to a place they're not used to. It's another division there. So you always have players that they love the team, they want to fight for the team. But you can't have 5 players want to fight for the team, and the rest, they're not willing to give anything. It's just a disaster. It's their team. If they don't sort it out as soon as possible, that team is doomed to go to relegation.
And for me, this is the problem, because I've seen that people are also saying, this is what you get with teams that buy statuses. It's not true.
Right.
It's not always the case.
Yes.
Cape Town City
Exactly.
bought a status,
And
they
they're still well
transformed
run.
the team.
Exactly.
In fact, in other areas, even off the field, in other areas, they are leading.
Yeah.
Cape Town City.
Sure.
You look at what is happening there in the Great Africa Championship. This team, Sekukune, they bought the status of TTM. I mean, you look at from a distance, you look at their operation, the organization,
pushing.
for a team that is new, because there's a plan. You understand? And this is why we always say, we always go back to club licensing. You understand? If there are parameters, that these are the standards, and sometimes you don't even need to spend a lot of money. Just be organized.
That's as simple as that. That's all we ask for as fans, is organization. As we look ahead to the week and the fixtures that are about to happen in the DSTV Premiership. And just to kind of let you know, the big one, I guess, some of them, Mamelodi Sundowns in action against Bloom Celtic. Chiefs take on TTM. Ripe for the taking, are they? I mean, it's a perfect time for Chiefs to kind of string together a 3-game run, isn't it? I mean, you look at the eruptions and what we're speaking about. Kaizer Chiefs must be licking their lips at this fixture.
Yeah, I think that's a perfect opportunity for them to bounce back from a miserable first start of the season to now potentially getting 3-3. And you're busy with a wounded dog when they also down in form. Politics, the administration part of things is a shambles, so it's all there for the taking, and I think they should take full advantage on that one.
Yeah, and Chiefs is still looking for its first win at home.
At home.
Yeah.
All their 3 wins have come on the road.
Right.
Yeah.
So this one is going to be interesting. And I also think that another interesting game for me, because Celtic is playing Sundowns without their best defender, Zonele Mahashe.
Right.
So
yes, he came out suspended.
Yes. But I'm more interested in Wednesday's game. I don't know, maybe because I'm an Eastern Cape boy, Chippa United. I think they're going to test Swallows. I think they're going to test Swallows.
Okay.
Lafo would have spent more time now with the team. Aya Kongobe, for me, one of the best defenders in the PSL.
Right.
With his head right, that boy can be the best defender.
Yeah.
And the future Bafana captain with his head right.
Right.
You know.
Right.
So he's back. He started training with Chippa today, and remember the transfer window is on now. Started today, and also looks like Tamsangam Sangweni is heading back. He's coming back from Swaziland, going back to Chippa. So that's very interesting.
Interesting. What Wele is saying, is very interesting. And don't forget, top scorer of Swallows, Gabardine.
Yes.
Released by Chippa.
Yes,
so
and he was not happy with that.
Yeah, he wasn't happy with that. It's going to be
so fireworks.
That game is going to be a massive game. As he said, there's going to be a good test for Swallows. But if you check the way Swallows are playing this season, coming back and that game against Pirate, I think, it's going to be difficult because the whole players there, they understand the structure of the team, So, but you never know, soccer, 90 minutes, anything can happen, But Chippa still play good football, but they need to start scoring goals now.
Okay, so lots of cracking games to look forward to. And like that, unfortunately, folks, we are out of time for Monday Night Football this Monday on Soweto TV. Thank you so much to my panel, gents. You've been great. Greg, I hope you enjoyed that. We hope to see you again soon. And to you at home, thank you for tuning in. Until next time, take care.